Hey Leo, this is your look at the astrology of June 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman, and this is Empowering Astrology. So let's take a look at this month. I know we're getting this out there a little bit late. Do forgive me. Lots going on because it's eclipse season, and lots tend to go on during eclipse season. It's almost when this is the analogy I make over and over again is that when we get to eclipse season, it's as if the curtain comes down on one act and the curtain comes up on another act. And maybe you're already feeling that, Leo. Maybe you're coming into June with the sense of that there is a turn happening. Now, we do have one eclipse in June. That will be June 10th. It will be a solar eclipse in Gemini, not to get a little bit ahead of myself. But this month, it's mostly Gemini season. Gemini is what's called your 11th sign. So when you are in Gemini season, you're sort of coming to the end of your personal calendar. You're looking ahead, you're hoping, you're dreaming, you're wishing, and maybe even strategizing and connecting a little bit as you think about the year to come. And I mean your personal year, because very soon, Leo, is going to be your birthday. But if you're feeling a little taxed or even a little run down or a little fatigued, it's because Mars has been in Cancer actually since April. And when Mars is in Cancer or Mars is in your last sign, because FYI, Leo, Cancer is your last sign, it's an area of your chart that talks about rest, recuperation, needing to just not push so hard, to maybe go inward and to dream and to reflect, which sort of adds to this other layer of this time of where you're sort of looking out and thinking and reflecting and preparing for the next chapter to come. The other thing I want to sort of mention before we get into the nitty gritty is that there are some big things happening, namely Saturn square Uranus. This is something that's been going on, to be fair, since the beginning of, or rather the end of last year. And then we will have something called Saturn-Uranus squares throughout 2021. So June 14th is the second of three. Saturn is your planet of relationship. It's your planet of health and wellness, and it's making this friction with Uranus all month long. And what does this mean? It means you're sort of going into a month where you need to make some big changes, or you're feeling like life is pressing up against you, or the tectonic plates of your life are moving and shifting in a big way. Also, if you're seeing a lot going on in relationship, if you are in a relationship, maybe you and a partner are needing to do things differently, or get out of a rut, or evolve or transform the relationship. If you are not in a relationship, how do you connect with people in a radically different way? This includes all relationships, not just romantic relationships. You just can't do everything by yourself anymore, Leo. And then this is sort of translating also in your professional life. And this is something I've been saying over and over again, Leo. You are in total a 7-year journey of reinventing your professional life, but you've got 4 more years to go. This is something called Uranus and Taurus. So you're seeing a lot of this tension and push happening between your professional life, the direction you take your life in, and also other people, partnerships, relationships, negotiation, connection. But it's possible that as you go into July, for example, life's starting to look a bit different, Leo. So just something to keep in mind. But let's go back to the beginning of the month. We start the month off with Venus going into Cancer. And if you remember me saying from a few moments ago, Cancer is your 12th sign, the 12th sign in anybody's chart, anybody's personal calendar or zodiac. It's a time to rest, a time to go behind the scenes. Venus is your career planet. So maybe you're using this time to really refresh your vision about where you want to take your life, or to trust your intuition. We can't forget that the 12th is an area where we have to bridge the gap between this world and the next world. We have to cultivate a connection to the divine. So, Venus is sort of joining Mars for a little bit. And so really pay attention to your intuition, your dreams. Don't push. Mercury is retrograde for most of June anyway, so it's a little bit hard to push regardless. But if you feel tired, rest. If you need to sleep in and that's a possibility, then do so. Or prioritize your health and wellness this month. And, like I said, Saturn is square Uranus this month, and to be fair, all year long, into the beginning of 2022. So you're also being asked to make big changes in your day-to-day life, how you take care of yourself. So do prioritize yourself this month. It is an eclipse season. You are ruled by the sun, Leo. So the sun is your planet, and the sun will get eclipsed. It will disappear on June 10th. So this can be very, very hard on the nervous system, on the emotional system. Leo rules the heart in medical astrology. I'm not a medical professional, but really pay attention to your circulation, your heart, your blood flow. There's just a lot of intense energies going on right now. Speaking of intense energies, on June 5th, we're going to have something called Mars opposite Pluto. Mars is an emotional planet for you because it talks about home and family, but it also talks about our drive, our will, our willpower, and our motivation, and it's running up against Pluto. Now, Mars and Pluto traditionally, they need a lot of physical energy. It's like if things are moving this month, you actually have to physically do something about it. And you're thinking, well, Katie, you just said rest. I know. Sometimes the astrology is saying two different things at the same time. Maybe you want to rest. Maybe you're exhausted, Leo. But then you've got all of these other things going on that you have to sort of push your way through. But you might need to give it an outlet through physical activity. But it's also a time when you're really releasing something on an emotional level, on a past level, on a deep level, and maybe even making some big changes again in health and wellness and how you take care of your body. Like I said earlier, we're going to have a solar eclipse on June 10th at 19 degrees of Gemini. I think this eclipse actually is June 10th, no matter what part of the world you're in. But a solar eclipse in Gemini means a couple of things. In general, it means that over the next 6 months, because solar eclipse work in a sort of 6-month chapter, we are all collectively exploring themes around ideas, information, choice, duality, a need to move, get curious, get restless. Things are starting to open up more. People are starting to get about and get around and travel. Gemini is one of the travel signs. And maybe there's just a lot of movement over the next 6 months. Maybe you are moving. Maybe you're getting things, you're exploring, you're kind of getting out there more, you're seeing things more. But it is also a time when we have to reflect on our choices. Is it an up or a down, a yes or no, a left or a right? So you're sort of weighing things over the coming 6 months, if not this month. And then personally, Gemini is your sign of friends and community, society, humanity, collective. It's the bigger picture also. It's a place for you in your personal zodiac where you start to connect to something beyond yourself. So maybe you're very aware of who your friends are right now. Maybe this solar eclipse is giving you a chance to reset your social circle, how you socialize and connect to one another and to build new community. I mean, to be fair, the last 12-15 months have been a little rough on community, but maybe you're using this time to reconnect to old friends, to make new friends, and really tend to some things from the past, because Mercury will be making something called a square to Sagittarius. So there is a need to go back to something from the past, heal something from the past, and maybe this is a relationship you have with an old friend, or something you need to go back and tend to and tie up loose ends, for example. Then the next day, on June 11th, Mars goes into Leo. Yeah, Mars goes into your sign. You'll have Mars and Leo all the way, well into July. I'm not sure if it's August or July when it goes into Virgo, but Mars in your sign heats you up. It gives you drive, it gives you willpower, it gives you get up and go. You have a lot of fire. You also have a lot of opinions, or even you're just feeling a little like you want to fight. A little. Mars is known for being a little bit of a fighter. So things are going to start to move more after the 11th. I think that you've had to really take a rest, get some new perspectives, feel life moving around. But on the 14th of June is when we have that second Saturn-Uranus square. So big things, like the big pieces of your life are moving. Sort of the joke I have right now and for all of 2021 is that the fixed signs aren't so fixed at the moment. You, Leo, are a fixed sign. A few days later, on June 20th, Jupiter turns retrograde. So maybe you remember from May, Jupiter dipped into Pisces. That was nice. But it was only a dip because Jupiter turns retrograde on June 20th. Pisces for you, Leo, is your sign of wealth, finance, resources, also the sign that helps you to face yourself, to go deep within, and to find the wisdom that we all need to find when we do that deep work. So you are doing a little bit of deep work over the next coming months, but Jupiter's arrival into Pisces in May to July is really only just a preview because it will go back on July 28th. But it does turn retrograde on June 20th. Sort of pay attention to some of the themes that are coming on, up around then. Maybe there's a sense of endings. Maybe I know you think, oh my God, endings. Well, then everything comes to an end at some point. Or a sense to shift and change something, and maybe even change it irrevocably. But it's Jupiter, so maybe we're doing it with a smile. Maybe we're doing it with a sense of optimism. Mercury, on the same day, June 20th, Sun goes into Cancer, and we have the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. We have the winter solstice for those of who are watching in the Southern Hemisphere. So this is your longest day and your shortest day, depending on what part of the world that you're in. But it is the official start of Cancer season. And Cancer season is after the movement and the hustle and bustle and the restless curiosity of Gemini season. It's now time to come home. It's time to reconnect with loved ones, really focus on the home, and it's a time to nest and tend to our roots as well. Cancer is a very nostalgic sign. It's ruled by the moon. It runs on instinct and feelings and sort of these subconscious impulses. But this is a time for you to really get back to what feels good. We have to really make sure that we are feeding ourselves, taking care of ourselves, and feeling good. Like I said, it's been a rough past 12, 13, 14, 15 months. On the 22nd of June, Mercury turns direct. So if that's something that you're really closely following, I personally, I don't try to get too worked up at Mercury retrograde, but if you're trying to wait, then you can wait till after June 22nd, or to be fair, you can wait till July if you have that luxury, until I think it was July 11th is when Mercury goes into Leo. Then we have a full moon in Capricorn on June 24th. This full moon will be at 3 degrees of Capricorn. For you, Leo, Capricorn is your sign of health and wellness. I think, just a little sidebar, that part of your life, what's called your sixth house, your sixth sign, it's been in the midst of, I say the midst, but this has really been a decade of really deep work on transforming your relationship, not just with your body, but transforming your relationship with your day-to-day life. So every time we have a full moon or a new moon or something's in Capricorn, it is because Pluto is still there. Pluto will be there until 2023, 2024. But it's a good time to check in on your physical wellness and your day-to-day life and what sort of changes you need to make in your day-to-day life. That full moon's also maybe a decision about work or project or something that really is a part of your day-to-day life. Saturn is in Aquarius Aquarius, so that full moon is pointing towards relationships. So maybe it's examining some sort of professional relationship, professional partnership, something that you're doing a project with somebody with, or even looking about how you can either be of service to others or examining power dynamics in a relationship. Are things equal, for example? Then on the 25th of June, Neptune turns retrograde at 24 degrees of Pisces. I'm just a little saying this because I heard this from someplace else. There's like, oh my God, there's all these retrogrades happening right now. And just reminder, the outer planets, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, spend 5 months out of the year retrograde. So it's statistical probability that these planets are going to spend a large chunk of the year retrograde. But Neptune retrograde is a time, especially it's going to really fill the collective with this Neptunian energy towards the end of the month, and we just might feel a little spacey, a little ungrounded, a little need to rest, reflect. Neptune is something that connects us to the world beyond this world, so we're feeling a little more intuitive, more compassionate, maybe want to cry more. But it's also a time to let things go, because maybe it's time, for example. And then Venus leaves Cancer and goes into Leo on June 22nd. So you're going to have Mars in Leo, you're going to have Venus in Leo. It's a little bit of a party. Maybe you've got some pep in your step. Maybe you're feeling like you got some eyes on you. I know you like that, Leo, at least on paper. You do. Venus gives you charm. Mars gives you a little bit of heat. So maybe this is going to be some great, little bit of a boost as you go into your season later, but this is really going to take you just into July. And then we close out the month. Now this is really, to be honest, it's July 1st, but Mars is going to be making an opposition to Saturn. So as we get into the end of the month, we're going to have that another wave of like this energy of the different tectonic plates of your life are moving. So maybe just things are really shifting and moving this month for you, Leo. Again, take care of yourself. This is a lot going on. You're changing your life. You're changing your career. You're changing your relationships. Nothing's the same. You can do it, Leo. But that is your look at the astrology of June 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman, and I am an astrologer and psychic medium here in New York City. You can follow me online at empoweringastrology.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Empowering Astrology, and you can also sign up for my newsletter or subscribe to this YouTube channel. So till next month, thank you all for being patient and waiting for your June horoscopes. You can always watch me every week on Mondays on Facebook Live. But until then, take care. Bye.